this week's episode, Team Valley MOT. Today started off pretty bad. I've just had to put £120 worth of diesel in the car, and the recovery truck wanted filling up, so that wanted another £400 of diesel. But I suppose if the vehicles are moving, they must be making money somehow. So this week is unbelievably busy. I say that pretty much every week, but it just seems to get busier and busier every week. We have many Ford Raiders, so we've had too many Ford Raiders anyway. So I stayed back a little bit last night, put the cylinder head back on the white Ford Ranger that's been on the ramp for a while. So we just got the cylinder head back for that yesterday. I think it was yesterday morning possibly. So put the cylinder head back on that. I built up the engine, and then I got a little bit carried away, and I ended up putting the engine in the car. It just made sense really. Once I had to put it, I basically built it on the engine stand. Then once it's on the engine crane, I lifted it on the crane and then took the sump off, and we also changed the oil pump. So we're going to do that just as a matter of course really now. I think any time that we get an engine out of a Ford Ranger, we'll change the oil pump for the gear type rather than the VN type, because much more reliable, and hopefully gives that engine a lot more years of service to the customer, because it's pointless spending the money with us doing a head gasket or any, you know. So what happens when we do a head gasket is we change the timing chain, all the gears and guides and tensioners. We've changed the oil pump now. We've changed the EGR cooler and the EGR valve. And then you get a top end gasket set, so you change all the rotor cover gasket, including the seals around the injectors, inlet exhaust gasket. I think it's pretty much every gasket. Valves and oil seals get changed, everything. So hopefully you just get a top end refresh, and hopefully that gives you a lot more, like I said before, a lot more service out that car, rather than spend the money on a head gasket with us and the oil pump fails in 6 months or 8 months time. Then you require an engine. There's no once the oil pump's failed, there's no going back. That's it. Needs an engine. I mean, you can line bore it, you know, put bigger shells in the crank and all that. We just put an engine in. So we did have a 2 litre engine job to do, which is the newer Ranger, which is a 2 litre bi-turbo. That customer's actually decided to write that vehicle off. So that is going, I think that's going to go for sales, spares, and repairs. They did ask about the option of putting a second-hand engine in, but unfortunately we wouldn't fit a second-hand engine. And they also asked about if they could supply a new engine to us, but unfortunately, I mean, they wouldn't really benefit that, because you know, we buy it from Ford, so that they're going to get it at the same price as us. We'd probably get a little bit cheaper, to be honest with you, because we're spending more money with them, but we wouldn't fit customer supply parts either. So that was certainly that conversation. So after going to put some fuel in the car and pick up a couple of parts that I needed, I'm just literally 2 seconds away from the garage now. So I know Ed has been crazy busy with Duo Media. They've had a lot of work on lately, so hopefully I can capture him for 10 or 15 minutes, and we'll get some time around the garage, see what's going on. Thanks for watching this morning, and hopefully I'll see you again this afternoon. Right, welcome to tonight's episode with Big Jimmy. Come on, Gary, let's see what's happening. Oi! Right, this camper van has been in about 400 episodes, but we have progress now because the parts have arrived. But as you can see, the instructions tell you to glue them on. So that's glued on, it's taped, ready to be dismantled tomorrow. We have been waiting for Paul. Paul's been on holiday, he's coming back. Oh, he has come back today, very tanned and slightly overweight. But he's just getting a tan, and that was because he went to the sunbeds a lot before he went. So they're all in now. It does look slightly better. I think once it's all washed and it's all the same colour, you could do I tell you what it is, it's poor quality from the factory, that, like. Yeah, we said that, it doesn't fit very well. It doesn't? That was the bit that got bumped. Yeah.
Two invisible cars on these ramps. This one is the van that got the engine in and it had an ABS problem. But I've just I've had a quick look and someone's already had to go and put a bit of doorbell wire in there for the ABS sensor, so and I can see that the wires are starting to get green in there
and it's
and down there.
It's not ring doorbell quality, is it?
It's not ring doorbell quality, no. It's
Ding dong.
this here. Lift it up, guys.
Lift it up.
Let's go north. Oh, you're a funny guy.
Funny guy, man.
Was it this one, Gary? No. So this side. So this, we actually, did we recover it? No, sorry, the customer got it recovered in. The tyre's flat because in here somewhere is the spring. So that spring's actually made its way all the way down. How it hasn't cut through a brake pipe, I do not know. So that spring is supposed to be up here. Well, as you can see, that isn't supposed to look like that. Can you weld the end back on this?
So let's keep on winding that up. Mum, we just sit that back in a cup.
I think it's going, you know. I'll take we'll
So
fix
it
it.
is not far away, that is it?
Right.
Unfortunately, anybody that's a lot of people that own sittings will probably know what this block customer is feeling, because I think it's a fairly common problem on springs, snap-on springs on the front of sittings.
Springs, snap-on springs?
Springs, snap-on springs.
I think springs normally snap-on springs, Gary.
Snap-on springs, yeah.
Put a spring in set. Well, actually, this one here has got a Bluetooth thing. You can see in there. So you shouldn't be able to get your hand in there, look. That spring is cut through the side wall. Customer's been stuck in the car park. Not very good for the customer.
Yeah. You look, it happen. And again, you know, circumstances happen when it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one is, so this went from RAC diagged as a camshaft sensor, and it's far from a camshaft sensor. So if I can just show you, if you come around here, Eddie B.
Where will it be, Eddie B?
So that's where the basically the camshaft pulley goes on here. And what's happened is, you can see there, the camshaft, that shouldn't move as easy as that. The camshaft's actually snapped, so I think this is the second or the third one that we've done, that the camshaft snapped. So I've ordered a new rocker box with a pair of cams in and the little rocker arms. They're normally snapping there as well, so hopefully we'll get that back in the dairy next week.
Well, that comment that that's on the eBay is just the rocker box and the cams
Aye.
together on. Loads of people are splitting the bottom end of the engine is no good. Loads of people are splitting these engines on the rocker box. I mean, like Mark said, I think that's probably the third.
And these are common. It's the E49 DTH, so these are common in these and the Insignias, and these are normally the bottom end, don't they? So
Yeah.
the bottom end sees this, so then obviously somebody's thought, well, there's still money in because the common for snapping a cam, they're just selling, like Gary says, that little rocker box there. So when you take the rocker cover off on these, the cams stay there, rocker arms, all that sort of stuff.
Makes life easy because you can use split the rocker box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this one here is in for a clutch and flywheel. I'm not sure where the old parts are.
Yeah.
Look at that. So, I'll get rid of that. That's the old clutch there. Obviously there's no friction to you, it's actually just, it's all crumbling. You just take that clutch off. So, that's been replaced with a new one and what a genuine flywheel as well.
Yeah.
Because the flywheel's damaged.
It's got the value safe on a UK clutch, and we've had to fit the genuine flywheel because it's going to get else. It is the important.
There's not much to go back on this actually, because the subframe had to came out. The subframe had to come out even. So that's now back in, obviously gearbox in, shafts and everything's in, all the earth straps, wiring's done. So Cal's probably got about an hour left in the morning. Get this all done, and then hopefully have a little tidy up because the garage just looks like it's bad. And it's very bad when I'm wearing work gear and gloves. This fan here, if we had a smell cam, you would be, honestly, this would knock you sick.
That is like 110 or small.
It is bad. So this is in for Jesus Christ. This is in for a throttle body. What what is it? What does it need, Gary? Throttle body. Oh, throttle body and turbo solenoid. So I'll show you why it's smelly. So in the side of there, I've actually, believe it or not, swilled it out. This van's been sitting in the heat, 25 degrees, and there was a big box of fish lying there, so there's some yellowy water. So I've already swilled it out, so I'm gonna have to swill it slightly more. Jesus, that is bad. This came in for a service and a clunking on the front, so we'll put a pair of new springs on. That one was snapped, this one was corroded. Customer done a sensible thing, replaced them as a pair. This Range Rover here is in for an arc fault, so the arc is the active roll control. So that's the hydraulic anti-roll bars. When these start getting on a bit, pipes go, the actual anti-roll bars themselves go, pumps go down. I know the pumps are about £1,000, anti-roll bars are about the same money, and the pipes are about the same money, but nearly everything you do on these, body off, blah blah. But this is getting on slightly, this car, so we're going to see what we can do to fix that and get the customer on the road for hopefully less than what it's going to cost for all that. This little car is the car from the Isle of Man, and this is a 3-cylinder.
Yeah, PureTech.
PureTech, sorry, aye. So this is a wet belt engine. That is not a good idea, I don't think, because anything on even these and the Transits, we've had nothing but bother with the strainers blocking everything, isn't it? It's just, it's not good. So Andy's pulled this apart this morning, put a new time belt on, sump off, cleaned the strainer out, because originally this came in not with a time belt fault, but actually an oil pressure fault. So on tick over, the oil light would come on and it would come on the dash saying it was low oil pressure. The customer's been very lucky, I think. It's he's caught it really quickly.
Really unfortunate, because I mean that could have some of them end up buying, like you said, just oil pressure, just doing the engine, but getting away with it on that one, it's repaired well.
Definitely. This Mercedes here.
After you had? Oh, okay.
So this Black Merc came in for a gearbox fault from the RAC. We've drove it and drove it and drove it. Unfortunately, we can't fault it. We're just going to have to give it back to the customer, to be honest with you, and just tell them to drive it until there's something happens, because there was no fault codes. It drives perfect. I don't know whether it's just been a funny condition when just trying to get off her driveway. She said it was almost like the clutch was slipping, but it's automatic. But we can't fault it. It's pointless spending hours and hours dialing on something if there's no fault to be found there.
I think the gearbox is, from the customer service, I think the gearbox is just getting a little bit confused with itself, and then it's sorted itself out by the time it's got it.
Yeah.
Which happens.
Does happen. That camper van, I think I was in. It's been a video before, I think, but it's basically waiting for authorisation for the 2 front wheel bearings, and he's also.
We've got a Dave show there, Roland.
Yeah.
They'll be done on Monday. They'll get there Monday.
Lovely.
Really looks after that.
He does, aye. It's low mileage, and it's still immaculate for an old camper van. That.
He's just had all the interior and whatever you done. Yeah.
Aye.
Good job inside. Yeah. Looks nice that.
Right. What have we got over here? So.
The wind was blowing the other way.
The wind is certainly blowing in a fishy smell. We've got. I'll tell you what I've got, which is a guarantee, is too much work on. No, we can't have too. Sorry, can't have too much work. There is just a lot of it at the moment, and what we're seeing a lot of is massive jobs. So we do a lot of engines and gearboxes anyway, but we'll get like 4 or 5 in a row. At the minute, we've probably got 4 engines to be priced, authorised, blah blah blah. We've got gearboxes, transfer cases, the parts that's in that on their shelves at the minute. It's got to be 15 grand at the parts waiting to go in the next couple of days.
I don't know if it's coincidence or what, but there's loads of people come in saying, oh, look, I need you to touch it, and anybody's got time, so
yeah.
Everybody's as busy as we are by the sounds of it, but it's just needing to touch the big stuff, you know, like so that there, and you know the
I mean, sometimes I honestly think that other garages must be more sensible, because they only do little jobs, and they don't get any headaches. They do a service MOT, spring, and send it on its way, and we end up. We literally, I know we sell ourselves as a one-stop shop, but we actually are. Like, sometimes we just top up the reservoir and you screen wash, and that'll get you through MOT, and then the next thing we're putting a brand new engine and gearbox into it. And everything in between, which is it's good, and we like to keep our customers happy that way. But now we're taking bookings for 2-3 weeks ahead and 4 weeks ahead, and big jobs are certainly getting ahead of time, I think. This little 1 Series. Sharon, good customer of ours, she's got the grey Defender. That's been a few videos. That's just in for MOT, all done. Nice little car. Team Valley Taxi, and that, don't want to talk about that recovery truck. That'll get done one day. That'll probably get done just after this gets done. So this is the one that's into the cylinder head. Just tow it back.
Put them in the back of a flatbed and put them in the
Aye,
car park.
I think that's a good idea. Yeah.
We'll just sit in front of them.
Cylinder head needs to go back on this. I said the other day that we've got the head back and just never had 2 seconds to get us in the dairy. This will have to come in at some point. I might possibly... Nah, I was going to push it in the late, but I'm not going to do that. I need to get the cylinder head back anyway, either way. Gowland Dawson pickup truck. I think that's got a couple of snap springs and it's just been a bit unloved for quite a while, so they want that back up to spec. The yellow perils there. Jimmy's car. And this is in for what, Gary?
Service, yeah, service and 4 tyres. Yeah,
4 tyres.
I mean that one's gone. It looks like it's possibly got like cross liners or winter tyres on.
Yeah, it's got too hot or something.
So we'll have 4 tyres and 3 in the morning.
Lovely.
We'll get them.
That L200 had 2 rear springs.
Two springs, front tyres, all not working. Would you see sort of emissions for it? Because it can't get through the MOT test.
Yeah, it was MOT somewhere else this. And again, this was the MOT, but they didn't want to do the work. Sensible guy. The bad Gary. See, my nose had that much damage that I can't smell, I think, but Gary's beak is on fire. Yeah. Anyway, this needs to get through the emissions. Come on inside.
Let's go.
Oh, Jimmy, where you going? Hyundai? But are you busy?
Always busy.
Jimmy's always busy. So this Ford Ranger, the engine's back in, luckily. You're not going to see much under there, but the engine's back in. So obviously this one has had the head gasket done. And he's just going to stop after tonight and put this back together to be on the road tomorrow morning. Actually, I think Andy's on this tomorrow afternoon, so hopefully before the weekend we might hear this start. We'll get the gearbox in first thing in the morning, and then once the gearbox in, that means one man can work on it, where you can't put that gearbox in by yourself because that's as heavy as Jimbo's wallet. Not quite as heavy as that, no. That's a 4-man job. His wallet is a 7-man job just to prise it open. Is that all we've got for tonight?
Yeah.
Are you sick of the smell?
Holy shit.
Right, we'll leave that smell. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Bah, warm this afternoon, mate, isn't it? Crikey, dear me. Hello everybody, welcome to Friday afternoon. Unfortunately got to put up with today because Marv's away for a weekend with the family, so I hope he's having it. He has a great time. Yeah, okay, so that's good. We're going to finish off the day. Another really busy week as always. Yeah, so we'll just have a quick walk around, let you know where we're at with things. Finish the day off, of course, and then everyone hopefully get home for the weekend. Yeah. So starting here. Volkswagen Golf 17 registration. This one's been into day 4, routine service. We picked up on the health check that the rear brake pads were on about 2 millimeters of material left, and the customer's requested as well that the tyres on it weren't very good quality, so we've put 4 tyres on all round as well. That side of it's done, but what he's asked as well to have a look at is the head unit's not switching on. Few bits and pieces on these I think people have got them already know. You can do a hard reset, as you call it, so whereby it's battery off, battery back on. Also you can try by removing the fuses and putting them back in. Always the first step is to do, just because they do get themselves a little bit confused. We've tried that, unfortunately it hasn't worked on this. The other thing is it could be the infotainment unit as well, because they are a little bit susceptible to going down and having problems with them. So it might be that, but we've run out of time with it today, so we'll give the customer the option that to bring it back and spend some more time with it. We'll try and get it working. Feeling that, I mean, it might be a new unit, and if it is, unfortunately, they're not, they're fairly expensive. So that, but that's just about done for today. Other than that, would have been nice to get it working for the customer, but you know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, unfortunately. But yeah, there we are. Camper van, it's been in the last few videos. Yeah, so this one we're finishing off. wheel bearings are done, front brakes are done. That was in a few weeks ago for a noise on the back. At the time we put a tyre on it. So, I mean, this customer here, I mean, he looks after this very, very well. Spends well on it as well. I mean, it's just had the interior done. I mean, that's an upgraded interior. If you can have a look there. And again, I mean, the story with that, I remember he was telling us, he got it done by a company in Yorkshire. So what he did was he drove there the night before, stopped in the camper, ready for them to start work the next morning at 8 o'clock in the morning. He went away and spent the day just sightseeing or wherever it was, and they had the whole of the interior out, back in and fitted by 5 o'clock, and then it was ready to drive away the same day. And that's a full interior. I mean, that's them going fair play to them. I mean, they did really, really well, and they made a smashing job of it. You know, it's a nice camper. So, because I mean, with it being a slightly older one, I think it's on a 54. This, it was just looking a bit dated. So he's had the interior done. I mean, we've done timing belts, clutches, service work, MOTs on it. Pretty much anything at once, within reason, of course, it gets. But yeah, I mean, that's good to go. So Marv's put the 2 bearings in today. The brakes are done on it. We've fitted 2 tyres, because as I say, the last time it was in, it had a back one on because it needed that. But you know, I mean, this is how this gentleman looks after it, is that the other 3 tyres, they were nearly brand new, but he wants the van right, so he's put 3 more Continental 24 seasons on it. So that one's just about good to go. We've got 2 coming today, and we've got another one coming from Oak Tyres on Monday, which one is a slight delay. So once we get that on, that'll be good to go back. Yeah, but it'll stay in sight tonight for the weekend, because like we talk about a lot, because of what it is, we don't want it broken into or damaged in any way. So that's that one. Ken's just finishing off with this one. It's been in today for the customer was reporting that it was a service light, but with Vauxhalls, they're a little bit funny. Sometimes they can give you a service code, so people think it's a service, because they were saying that they had a service a few weeks ago and the service light's come back on, but it's had number 3 glow plugs being faulty on it. So Ken's replaced the glow plug, cleared the fault, so we're going on a road test now, and if that comes back tested fine, again, that'll be due to go back to the customer. Yeah, good job. Shall we go now next to the smelly van head, or shall we take a wide berth? Yeah, okay. Wish I had a peg on us. So smelly van is getting the work done on it now. Callum is doing the throttle body, and also it's getting the transducer for the turbo. So that's the old one there, and as you can see, that is probably the cause of it. So this is the throttle body, which goes on the bottom of the intake manifold, which is underneath there. A lot of carbon build up, which is a byproduct of the way the engine runs, and also the exhaust gas recirculation, of course. And what's happening is that's jammed in position. So we've got a couple of possibilities. Either one, this is a motor here, because it is literally, you know, it's a fly-by-wire. Either the motor's failed in it, or it could be stuck because of the build-up of if you like, the exhaust gases, the carbonisation, etc. I'm not sure. What was it? Jammed in position? That the fault code? Yeah. So it was jammed in position. So that's failed, which means it's put a new one on. So Callum will put the new one on. And then once we've done that, we'll do the teach-in process, which is to tell you set the stop limits on the flap, so obviously open and shut. So it'll get that done as well. It's also getting a turbocharger transducer. So on here, there's a one underneath there as well, which I'm pointing to, which is that one there. There's a couple of these on these. One controls the turbocharger wastegate. The other one controls the EGR, and it's all controlled by this. That's the capsule of air there. That's resource and reserve of air. So it's getting one of them on. Quite a common thing on the Sprinters. We'll do a few of them, so we'll get that as well. Teach it all in. Hopefully, fingers crossed, get the lights off, and again that'll be ready to go back to Colbex, along with the other one, which was done this morning, that had the DPF filter on it. That one's parked around the corner. Was done earlier on today. Go back to this one. So the crafter's in now, because we've got everything pretty much ready to go parts wise. So cylinder head's back on it. And it's literally, once we get that on, we'll get the head torqued down, and then it's just a matter of putting it back together. So early stage of this one, it's in there to be done now. I don't think there's any major hold-ups other than we're stuck for time, but hopefully, fingers crossed, that'll be running on Monday. So yeah, it'd be nice to get that one done and gone, because it has been off the road a while. I think you remember I said a couple of videos ago, one thing we had to do was we had to get the cylinder head pretty much all decoated, etc. The inlet manifold as well, it was very much like the Sprinter, you know, you saw the black build-up of exhaust gases and carbonisation there. That was that. So I mean, it's had a nice job. That if you can look inside there, Ed, you can see. I mean, they were literally, you know, filled up with carbon in here, you know. And as you can see there, engine services have done a good job on that. Did a good job on machine stuff. I mean, we use them all the time, but really good. He knows his stuff down there. Makes a good job of things. Couple of tyres for jobs next week. Parts just waiting for to go in now. As you can see, I mean, busy week. We've got a lot of stuff on next week as well. I mean, you know, normally you get the end of the week and that's empty, but you can see, you know, that's the work for next week. A lot of service work on the go. We've got all the filters and whatever there. Transfer box for one coming in next week. The car's around the corner, it's here now, so that's a transfer box for it. Some bits for a Range Rover, once a couple of arms on, once the anti-roll bar bushes in the back as well, and that's the 2 tyres for it, so they'll be getting done next week along with that. Car park is a little bit sparse, of course, because it's the end of the day, but you know, just typical stuff. Yeah, and it's Friday, thankfully. Yeah, thank the Lord. Hey, lovely weather up here in the northeast. We'll start over here in the corner. So look, we'll run through it really quickly because obviously it's Friday. I want to try and get the end of the day finished off. The Insignia you've seen there that we talked about earlier, that's now tested and parked up. That'll be getting invoiced off, get the customer down for it. VW Golf there, that was in for straightforward MOT. Passed with no advisories, nice clean car. The German stuff tends to be good, quite reliable. So yeah, that's done and dusted. Our Can Phantom van, of course, we know all about that. We talked about that last night, so there's no point in going into that. This here now really is pretty much the stuff that either is in progress, waiting for bits for, or waiting to start. That's the Renegade that we saw on the ramp yesterday. Marvin showed you the clutch on it. That was put back together last night. I test drove it. I've done about 30-40 miles in. Just again, I say to you all the time, we're repetitive, but you know, we'll always, you know, because of the job it is, make sure the car's right. Customers hopefully having a lovely weekend at a wedding this weekend, so he'll hopefully pick that up Monday with not too fuzzy ahead, hopefully, but always a good weekend. Bears we know about. The One Northeast van, it's done, but again, something like these suffer from a lot. I can't get the bonnet up because obviously it's locked. But the only thing we're waiting for now is the module, the cooling fan module, which goes in behind there. We do a lot of these Citroens and the Peugeots. It's the module. They get they do that, obviously subject to water and the corrode and it fails. There's one on order for that. That'll be fitted on Monday, and then that'll be good to go, and hopefully that'll be ready to go back to the customer as well. Yeah, once that. But again, this one's the one that had snapped the cam belt, so it's had the camshaft in, all the remedial work that it needs. But it needs the module in because we don't want to drive it in case we get stuck in traffic. Don't want to overheat again, of course. Once we've done that, we'll get a few miles on that, and then hopefully go back to 1NE Logistics. And these are other long-standing stuff. We know about them too. This one was in earlier on today. Astley Signs. The something that they suffer a little bit with these vehicles. The back brakes are terrible for going out of adjustment. So you've got the rear brake discs with the inboard shoes. So we've readjusted the brakes on that today. It's good to go. Another really easy, thankfully, easily repair. Routine service on a Mercedes there, nice 67 plate A class. That one's good to go. Really not to tell you about it, like I say, it's been very routine. And that is the Volvo, which was there a couple of episodes ago. So that one's done now. We found a problem with that. It had there was no communication between the key module and the engine control unit, and there was some corroded wires in the harness. So Paul spent some time chopping them out, fitting them in, and the car started first turning the key. You know, that was another nice one, thankfully, because sometimes stuff like that can be a little bit of a pain in the backside. We had one a few months ago, and it was just sometimes it would start, sometimes it wouldn't, and they were struggling at the bottom of that one. Whereas that one, thankfully, it's been a bit more straightforward this time. The Ranger, this is the one you saw on the ramp. Again, look, like I say, it's all done now. It's had the cylinder head gasket back on, all the parts as necessary. Andy's test drove it, and then Andy, the driver's been out. He's done, again with this one, I would like to put a few more miles on it, but you know, like the way we do things, but a couple of things with a vehicle that is, it's tracked, and also the customer's desperate for it back for the weekend. So we've done the mileage on it today during the day, make sure the levels are all right and what have you, so that's good to go. I'm hoping they're going to be picking that up soon, and that one will be away as well. So that's that one. And lastly, Nep's van for a change. So we put an engine in this one about 2 months ago, and it's back today because we're going to start monitoring the oil usage on it. It doesn't appear that it's dropping the oil or losing the oil, so we just need to find out how much oil. Sorry, I start to begin. What they're saying is that they've had to put in about 3.5 litres of oil in a very, very short period of time. So what we'll always start by doing is we'll get the mileage off it now, we'll make sure the oil is on the level, and we'll ask them to come back in 1,000 miles once we've done one, and we'll check the oil again. Now 1,000 miles will probably be in a couple of days time with it being the van that is. But we need to know how much oil it's using. Of course it is new engine, but even new engines, because it's a rebuild, it still might use a bit. It's not uncommon for that, but we need to know, is it excessive or not, because it doesn't appear that it's dropping it. So that's in for today. And that, is there anything else said? I think I missed it. Yeah, well, so that's everything. So once again, thank you everybody. Going really, again, look, I haven't been on for a while. I've missed it a bit actually. Thank you for listening to this. Hope I haven't bored you too much. I hope it's been interesting for you. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to us. Hope just please keep on subscribing. You know, keep on liking the videos as normal. I hope we're giving you good content. If there's anything else you want us to maybe put into it, always a good idea. As you know, it's always interesting to keep mixing it up. Please put it in the comments section. But like I say, I hope you really are enjoying it. Hope everybody has a great weekend, because it looks like the weather's going to be smashing, and we'll see you Monday. Thanks everybody.